Hi guys, I'm Andreas.
And I'm Jacob.
And you are watching Cold North Creative Podcast. I don't know, I'm not certain about
I think it's called Cold North Podcast.
You are watching Cold North Podcasts. Now I know this is our first episode ever, so bear with us. We're still working out some kinks and trying to figure out how to do this whole podcast thing. And wow, 2 white guys, microphones doing a podcast.
Yeah.
The world really needs this. And today we have our first guest since it's our first episode, and it's a very special guy called Victor Kaas.
Yeah, he's from the band called Ice, and
the band. He's from all the bands.
He's from all the bands.
He's from Ice, LLNN, and TELOS, and formerly Hexes.
Yeah,
and The Last Messenger.
Oh my God, that was a lot. And my first introduction to him was the video they did with Ice for the song Distance. And and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like they look like they're like indie guys, and this really scrapey hardcore whatever came on, and like, okay, what's going on? And it didn't even look like they were playing. Like the drummer didn't even hit the drums.
The underperformer.
It's just it's Distance. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And then they started dancing, and like, okay, I'm fucking sold. I'm sold on this. And then I've been a big fan of that whole band. So stoked to have a chat about Ice and their latest release. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So without further ado,
let's get into it.
Hello, Victor.
Hello, guys.
You've been here all along, listening to our shitty intro.
I hear everything. I don't know if people could hear me just screaming, shouting in the background.
Stop. It's not true. It's not called that.
Yeah. So we have some questions.
Yeah. So the first question is like, in regards to like your personal like journey to getting to the stage where you are now. So how did Victor in 2023 end up here? Like starting from The Last Messenger, ending here.
Was that his first? Was that the first band?
That was one
I know.
Band, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was my first band. I started it when I was in like 10th grade, when I was 16 years old, and we were playing like my biggest inspirations at the time were August Burns Red,
Cool,
Gage,
cool.
and then Flames, and we made 2 whole EPs, and there was one song that was on both EPs. So that was sick.
Classic. I also remember you had a very distinguished visual profile.
Yeah, yeah. I was just, it was the sign of the times, cheapo Photoshop kind of bullshit. We were talking about. I remember on a second EP, it was called Perspectives, and like the lyrics. I also wrote the lyrics, but it wasn't. I only played guitar in the band, but we didn't really have any idea how to like build a visual profile in any capacity. We were just talking about like what could be cool to have on a cover, and our bass player, he was like, like a man who's on fire.
Oh, that's quite sick.
So we just found some dude on MySpace and got him to make it in Photoshop, and it kind of looked like shit, but we thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up with.
I feel like I missed those days where you didn't really think about tying it into like the visual, like the whole lyrical universe. Just like, guy on fire seems cool. Let's do it.
Exactly. And like in the beginning, like we had one logo that I made in Photoshop, and I just found a font online. But then, the band's motionless in white.
Oh, yeah.
And they took the same font, and I was like, "Oh, these guys fucking suck. I don't fun with them."
Do they still have the same logo now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like a free font that's on the internet, which I also love.
Yeah, I think every band did that at one point. Just took a random font and.
Exactly. Like Lamb of God using Papyrus as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So it's quite a jump from there to like the very like well like thought through visual profile of eyes, I would say.
It seems like you put a lot more thought into it.
Yeah. So how? Are there any like specific things that you remember, like where you kind of like light bulb went off, or like, oh, this is how I should go about doing this?
So it kind of started when we did Underperformer, our first full length, and we wanted to, we all used to play in hexes, and we kind of wanted to move away both sonically and visually from that band, like distinguish ourselves, but also distinguish ourselves in the Danish scene, because at the time there was a lot, like a ton of black and hardcore, and we were also playing black and hardcore, and the visual aesthetic were kind of the same all over.
Yeah, I remember the first EP you guys did was in that vein.
Yeah, didn't you have an EP before? Yeah. Because I saw the cover of that. It was like you could notice there was a difference from that. It's to the X2 release.
Day and night, I would say.
Yeah.
And also, like, we hired Jonas from This Gift Is a Curse to do the cover art, and he's a fucking great artist. But we're always like,
yeah, it looks sweet.
Is this really us? But then I started doing like the concept. I'm sorry, the banging in the background.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was starting to write the concepts around the album, and it was about trying to fit into like the role of being an adult and like seeing people around you grow up while you are still in bands and making no money and you don't have an education, and what pretty much everyone who plays music goes through, basically. And then I was thinking of like the quote unquote ideal life, the ideal Scandinavian home, and like IKEA magazines and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you see this like perfect minimalist living room, and then we were talking about like, how can we disrupt this perfect minimalist living room to fit it into the theme of not fitting in into those boxes.
It's a very cool idea.
Yeah, so we were bouncing around with that for a long time, and like maybe we present like the traditional nuclear family and just like make small adjustments to make it seem like something's not quite right.
Yeah, something's off. Yeah.
Exactly. Like we were talking about, like having dad stand on a balcony in the background, like and so like really subtly like pointing a gun to his head, and like having a child's feet like just sticking out from under a couch, maybe a bit of blood splatter and stuff. But like really tiny details that you would have to look for to notice it.
So kind of like existential dread in everyday life or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But then pandemic hit, and the guy Jon Gottlieb, stage, not ask his name, No Heroes, also in Hierarchy, he was supposed to do it, and it limited his options a lot,
obviously,
and I think it was a stroke of luck, because then we had to commit even more to like the minimalism.
Yeah, that is true, forced minimalism.
Exactly, and it just became a picture of him standing on a pedestal, with his head in the ceiling, and
that's a very iconic picture.
Yeah,
exactly, and it also made it, you kind of drew out some meaning in that from the themes of the record as well, and he represented the existential dread with having a skull on the floor as the only piece of furniture. And
I'm wondering which came first. Was it the artwork or the videos? Like, did like the artwork spark like, oh, we have to this direction?
It was the artwork that came first.
Wow.
So was it?
Yeah.
Was that like something that helped you like decide? Oh, we have to like move this like in this direction, or were you already kind of like aware of like the aesthetic before?
Yeah, we started to become more and more aware of the aesthetic, and also it also came. It also sparked from how we kind of behaved on social media. Because we are playing this really chaotic and really heavy hardcore music, but on social media we were just being dumb goofballs pretty much, and like being really memey about how we write stuff, and I think it also represents us as a band and as a group of people, and how our humor together is like it can be super self-deprecating and also really ironic as well.
There's definitely a lot of like humor in like Underperformer video as well.
I love that video.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday, and just this kind of subtle things of you standing in the shower, and then I don't know what his name is, the guitarist like puts his face in the mirror and shouts his vocals. Like, it's still fucking funny. Those small details, but it fits in this narrative. Also, that guy standing with the back and just doing that motion with his hand towards like a bunch of garbage, but it doesn't matter. It's just garbage. Like, I like this is fine.
Do you have just like mundane tasks being done really poorly?
Yeah, the video of you like trying to jump over that fence like really badly. I was just laughing my ass off. And it's just because it's also so anti. We're a hardcore band. Look at how tough we are. It's complete opposite, but it's just made with so much irony.
Yeah, I think that was like what really like made it so endearing to me. Is also because I know you guys and like, oh, this is like way more like how they are than like than you guys be like, I don't know, trying to pretend like you're demons and around a black room with.
But also the way that you've used like really bright color grading and like almost overexposed things. It's not dark. It's the exact opposite. So
it's kind of like the antithesis of a hardcore video.
Yeah, and that was also like we were really aware of like making the full antithesis of that, and for distance, it was also like a lot of the whole aesthetic from Underperformer came from restrictions. Which is that's always what like restrictions spark creativity, and in that sense with that album and the videos, it's so true. For distance, we the deadline was coming up, and we had this idea of just having a video where we barely wanted to play. Like that was just the whole concept, but it was much more involved with the idea we had. We wanted multiple camera angles and stuff like that, and we were recording it in the
basement.
In basement, the venue basement, and when we set up down there and started recording, and Simon, our drummer, started banging on the drums, and it was like early Monday morning, and above basement there's a library, and the people work at the library. Like there was a guy, a librarian, like almost kicked the door in between two takes, and he was like, "That thing you're doing there, that's a no-go."
Playing drums.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, you can't do that." And we were like, "Okay, but we are renting the place, and we told them we were gonna make a video." I was like, "No, you can't do that." And then on the spot, we had to rethink it, and we changed locations from the one side of the room to the other side of the room.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, then like Simon, you can't hit the drums.
Oh, that's why?
Oh shit.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then we were like, okay, but if Simon can hit the drums, then the other guys would also not play their instruments correctly.
What? That's actually a really a cool background story for like how I thought that was kind of like just hinted going into it, and like we all have to pretend to.
Yeah, I thought it was fully deliberate. Who came up with the dance then? Was that planned as well?
That was planned. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Rasmus' girlfriend Isabel. He's a choreographer,
Okay.
and she like we tasked her to make a dance for us.
Oh, was she standing at the opposite side of the camera and just doing it with you guys?
No, she did videos for us and stuff.
Okay.
And we tasked her to make a dance that we would be able to dance. So
Can you please dumb it down?
are more rhythmically inclined than others, but yeah. So
You were pretty much in sync. It was good.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, exactly. But it's also funny like watching the video. If you notice it, then for example, like everyone does the moves a bit differently.
Okay.
And I feel like it also ties so well.
Yeah. It shouldn't be perfect.
No. How was the reaction to that? Because that was like your first like major release. I think that was the first time I saw you guys. So what else have you like? Did you get the reaction you were wanting from that?
It blew our expectations. Really, it was a really cool way to kind of kick the door down, and it really like I think it really put us on the map in Denmark at least, on the Danish hardcore scene. It put us on the path that we are on now.
Yeah. I also feel like you're the only guys who are doing this.
Yeah. So it's a bold move.
It is, and I can start to see that people are taking inspiration from what we started doing, which I've
seen a few videos that kind of ripped on the performer and like the whole aesthetic you guys were doing on the previous record.
And it's really flattering. I feel like it's nice being able to see that, we wanted to shake things up a bit, and we actually did it. And people actually
started the normcore revolution in hardcore.
Yeah.
Yes, that's you 100%. Yeah.
Nah, but did you have any inspirations for that, or did it just come from these kind of coincidences and the restrictions, or did you have any like other bands that does something kind of similar, this normcore and hardcore thing?
Yeah. So Pissed Jeans is a big inspiration.
What was the name again?
Pissed Jeans.
Is that a band?
It's a band. Yeah, it's a really cool band.
Okay, cool.
And also a band called Crack Cloud.
All right, I gotta dive into those.
Really, really cool. Especially like Pissed Jeans does cool videos, but Crack Cloud does insane videos.
Nice.
And they're much more like gritty American lo-fi kind of aesthetic, like Urban Decay and Urban Pestilence kind of shit.
That's what I really liked about you guys. It felt very Scandinavian.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We wanted to stay true to that. And also like for the Underperformer video, there was also again, deadline was creeping up. We're a bunch of fuckheads in the band. And, it was just like, we need to make this video, and we need to make it now on this Saturday. Like, all of it. And we had the concept, and but we didn't really have a camera. But Rasmus just got the new iPhone at the time. And
is that an iPhone shot on?
It's all shot on an iPhone, yeah.
What? Yeah. Okay. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then we just shot the whole in one day and tried out different scenarios, and we're out in the scorching sun, and then I edited the whole thing over a day.
You did it. Cool.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show, if the concept is good, like it doesn't matter all those more like technical details. It's not really.
And that's also the thing. Like when I work with video and like just visual stuff in general, I like to bash. If you know that concept of like photo batching or video batching.
No,
where you
please explain.
It's basically the concept of a child taking building blocks and just slamming them together until something
like
comes up. So the way I work in both, like especially in After Effects, for example, I only do hacks, pretty much. I don't do things the proper way, because when you do hacks, you end up with weird glitches and stuff like that. I feel like it's
There was a scene in the bath where there was some kind of flimmery stuff on your face, and I was like, "What the? How did you?"
Pixelated stuff.
Yeah, what's going on here? Like, because it threw me off a bit, and I was like, "It's just what is that?" I wasn't. It looked like it was shaking, but it wasn't. What did you do there?
I think I just displaced the image. I think I displaced it with a couple of layers.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just automated the position.
Yeah. Because it made it seem off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the whole thing. I like just the weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of weird, if we could talk about congratulations.
Yeah, let's do.
Before we run out of time, was like it feels like now that you kind of like explained that everything for like distance was a bit like more like a lot of it happened due to circumstance. Like how going into congratulations, what was that like a bit more like what's it called?
Pre-planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, but again, there's still a lot of like happenstance in a lot of the things we do, which I think is a brilliant thing about making art in general, because it's all, it depends on the day and what's going on. So we had the concept for the record were developed pretty early on, but I think we still wanted to like differentiate it from Underperformer. Yeah. So instead of having it like total minimalism, we wanted to have this like Danish 70s children's TV show.
Yeah. But I still feel like there's a big like from the EP to Distance, there's a really big difference. Like, but I feel like between Distance and Congratulations, like those two tie in together, but they're still different enough to make like that distinction. Yeah, it's that seems like the eyes we know still. Like,
yeah,
but
definitely, and we wanted to. It had to feel like the same thing, but still differentiate itself.
Same but different.
So you used Jon Gottlieb again for this release, and like how and he did, like from what I've seen, he does some amazing stuff. It's really iconographic, a lot of it. How much were you involved in that? How did you like give him free reign, or did you just give him some kind of conceptual direction? How did that work out? That collaboration?
We mostly gave him like conceptual direction, I would say, but in a really loose way. We gave him like symbols, like kind of props that had to be included.
Okay.
The crown, the tinfoil crown. We had to, with like the birthday candles.
Yeah.
And
it was. I read your press release, about that song being about conspiracy theorists, and I didn't really notice that detail that it was a tinfoil hat. And then you use it as a birthday crown. I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. It's perfect. Yeah.
But it was really deliberate this time to, instead of having everything packed into metaphors and stuff like that, then on quite the contrary, we wanted to have the metaphors be like straight in your face. So because I've, for a long time, I've tried to really hide my true meaning in songs, and I wanted to turn that on its head and simplify things. So I like my dogma for writing lyrics was being like, this has to be like understandable on the first read, and we also wanted to take that into like the visual aesthetic. So a guy sitting alone at a birthday party with cake in his face and the tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't have that much of a deeper meaning, and I don't think it needs it.
Well, you can do like the Danish teacher thing and go full on symbolism and stuff, but
Of course, yeah.
You get the. I love the shot where he's looking into the coffee cup, then sees a tinfoil hat, and his eyes just go wide. Like, I want that. And I think that was just a cool, those people like seeking the truth or like having found some kind of truth, and they wanting that or seeking some kind of acknowledgement for it, and
they dive so deep into it, they end up sitting alone with the face and the tinfoil hat on.
So that was our Danish teacher interpretation.
Yeah. But it's still pretty linear. There's not that many detours you can take in trying to analyze it.
No,
and that's is exactly, and that's totally on purpose. That's like totally on purpose. But
at the same time, I just feel like looking at it, it's so much right there that it actually can be a little bit. Oh, there must be something deeper to it.
Yeah.
Because it's you're like, there must be something I'm missing, but something is cool. But no, it's right here.
What were you saying, Lisa?
What was I saying? Yeah, but I feel like having done that now, and making an album with such a straightforward concept. At the end of it, I was really sticking to that dogma. Now I'm super fed up with working like that.
Okay.
And I can't wait to record the next thing we're gonna do. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, because it's I want to go to the complete opposite direction and make it extremely cryptic again.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's because we're about to round this first episode off. So that would be nice to just give us some thoughts about what is the next step for ICE, or the next step for your kind of evolution in this universe you're doing. Can you give us a bit of a sneak peek? Like you're saying now you're going to do the opposite direction, and I'm kind of intrigued about what you exactly mean by that.
Yeah, so we're talking about doing something which I think is really, really exciting. And I've started writing this concept, which is pretty big in scope. It's
so we're going away from minimalism now, or what?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Ooh.
And we're lyrically, it's probably more akin to a rock opera.
Okay.
Wow. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm I don't like rock operas at all, but if I start one, I'll be on board.
I want to buy tickets for that.
We're trying to make a universe with characters, and have that be a story, which is told in a both linear and non-linear fashion, and have a visual universe that correlates to that, which will be, drawn out with characters and stuff like that. I can't say any more than
that's
that.
No, it's fine. It sounds very interesting. I think it's just a natural progression of what you're doing. That you don't have anywhere else to go but really, really big right now. Yeah, that's perfect.
Even smaller.
Yeah, even smaller. You almost can't go more. You don't even have a frame of the full guy with only when he has the cake in the head and the whole head. That's the only frame where he's all in that. So you can't go more minimalistic than that video. But I think it's so interesting what you guys are doing. It's a breath of fresh air, and you make me feel intrigued, and that's a rare thing, I think. So really stoked about that. And you just signed yourself up for this podcast again at some point.
Yeah,
and you need to open that box when we get there.
But before we let you go, we have one question that I think this is going to be a recurring thing. If you could work with any visual artists at all, no budget restraints at all, who would it be, and what would you want to do? What Victor's secret dream video? I know it's putting you on the spot.
Video or visual art?
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, just anything visual. It could be
artwork.
I'd love to do a video with this guy. I'd love to do
My dream artist to work with is a manga artist named Asano Inio.
Yeah.
Who wrote some of my favorite comics of all time. Uyasumi Punpun, Good Night Punpun. Dead Demons, the Destruction. but
Insane
it's
anime.
really, really good. Extremely weird, postmodern, impressive, magical realism kind of stuff.
I want to totally read Ice and manga.
Yeah.
You need to make that happen.
The comic book, the anime, manga. Comic book, that would be fun.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Let's end on that.
Yeah.
Let's end on that.
That's a cliffhanger.
That's a cliffhanger.
Let's circle back in a year and a half and see.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Victor, so much for hanging out with us for this half hour for the first Cold North podcast episode. And we'll see you another time. And thanks, guys, for listening. Bye.
Bye.